We can start, Andre, if you want to turn on your video.
Hello, can you see me?
Yeah. I can see you.
Hi.
It's just delayed on YouTube. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So, hello everyone, and welcome to another community call. Apologies for the brief delay, and thank you very much, Andy, who came to our rescue to get the YouTube streaming started. So today we have Andre Natal here. Andre is a machine learning engineer and work on Firefox Translations. So I hope you have, I see you already had a lot of questions in our tools, so I'm very happy about that. Let me just introduce a little bit this call and who is in this call, etc. Let me just start sharing my screen. Okay, do you see my slide?
Yes.
Great. So as I say, we are talking about Firefox Translation today. I'm not going to go through this again. Okay, so we have here Andre Natal. As I say, he's a machine learning engineer working for Mozilla. I am Francesca. I'm a community manager, and I work in the community programs team. So we will just go quickly through a welcome to the Mozilla community in case you're new and you would like to know more. And then I will pass the word to Andrea, who will do first a demo, and then we'll talk about the technology used to develop this tool. And then we will have a Q&A. So if you have any question, please put them either in the chat or in, we also have a moderator tool that is linked in the description of this video. There is also a metrics room. You can also go there, put your question there. I will keep an eye on all these places. So if you're new to the Mozilla community, let me just go very quickly through some of the things we do. So everyone that loves the internet is welcome, and there are a lot of different projects and products you can contribute to. We have, for example, the support, our great support community, where people answer questions, for example, about user questions about Firefox and other Mozilla product. We have MDM WebDops that just had a community call before ours. And then the Mozilla Connect, where you can give feedback and ideas about any Mozilla product. So if you're interested in this, we have a newsletter. Feel free to subscribe to it. Link is also in the description. We have a contribute page where you can chat how to contribute. You can join other Mozilla metric, but please, in all this space, remember to adhere to our code of conduct, our CPG. And with that, I am finished and I'm going to stop. Okay, so yes, please go ahead, Andre.
Hi, hello everyone. Thanks for being here to watch this conversation about translations. So thanks for the intro, Francesca. Yeah, my name is Andre Natal. I've been working at Mozilla for around 8 years, and always on machine learning related projects. Before translations, I was part of the voice program, and since 2020 we've been working on translations. So what is translation? What's Firefox Translations? Just to give a brief introduction. Mozilla participated in a grant program along the some other universities in Europe as part of the Horizon 2020 program, which is a program that the EU fund innovative technologies and projects in many areas. And our project's goal was to build a machine translation functionality and engine and tools in order to perform translation of pages locally in the browser. So that means that your content, your pages, and then everything that's being translated remains in your computer. You never go to the cloud, and everything happens locally, and making it more private, of course, and then more convenient to use. So we participated in this program. So I'm going to share my screen here, Francesca, to show start showing some content. So this is the page for the, can you see it, Francesca, right? Is it my screen? Okay.
No.
So, no?
No.
Oh, it's okay. Your screen share is loading. Let's see. All right. Let me see why this is not loading. It's still loading. Okay, so yeah, it's still loading. I don't know what can be shared.
Do you want me to screen share? I don't know if you can pass me the link, but
Yeah, I mean the problem is that I was going to do the live demo, right? And then, but yeah, we can maybe start with. This is the page that I wanted to share, and I'm talking about.
oh, it's working now.
Oh, you can see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, it's showing my browser, right? My Firefox.
Well,
right?
For now we say Andres has started screen sharing, but he's doing something.
Okay. So yeah, just while this load. So yeah, we participated in this program with these universities, and it was yeah, that was the goal, to build these tools. So we completed this last year, and that's when we shipped Firefox Translations on AMO. So you can see my screen?
No, I mean
No?
it started to. Oh, now I can see it. Now I can see it.
Okay, nice. All right, so let's hope that there's no delays or something here. So that's the page for the program. That's the for the EU program. So all the proceedings they were reported here. So you have access to all the results and all the papers that we published around the project. It took around 3 years for us to develop the entire project along the universities. And the responsibilities, they were split between Mozilla and the other participants. So some of them were responsible for building the engines, the machine translation engines, and the training pipelines, and then helping with training pipelines, and then some models. And we were responsible for building the extension itself, porting the machine translation engine from C++ to WebAssembly, so it could run in the browser, and also a training pipeline, a concise training pipeline. So we and other engineers and entities could train new models for new languages. So so I'm gonna leave this here. So take a look. This is the page. Maybe if you wanna paste that in the chat, Francesca, please, in the YouTube chat, so people, or Matrix, so people could have that. So with that, I'm gonna move to the application itself. So again, like I said, so everything was local. During the grant, we worked with them, with universities, to train these models, to port the engine from C++ to WebAssembly. And then the final part was like, oh, okay, now that we have the engines, the models, so we need to build the application. And then the application was, ending on Firefox Translations, which is like web extension that is available on AMO. And you can just go to this page here and search for Firefox Translation on Firefox add-ons, and click Add to Firefox here, and that's it. You have translations enabled already in your browser. So as soon as you install it, you're gonna have this disclaimer here. If you want to report high-level user interaction or errors, so that's the only information that is sent to the cloud. And then it is optional. If you don't want to send it, you don't need to, you can just switch this off, and then everything's going to work seamlessly. So with that, we have the extension installed here. You could see it installed here, Firefox Translations. And then since this is a new profile, so I need to pin it to the toolbar here. So we have here we have two icons here that I'm going to show how they work as we go. So my browser is in English. Okay, let's translate pages. So my browser is in English. So that means that pages that are translatable, will have the translation in-page translation functionality displayed to me. So before I get to that, it's important to explain the language that we support. So since this was a European focused and funded by the EU, we focused initially on European languages. So that means we support Spanish, Estonian, English, German, Czech, Bulgarian, Portuguese, Italian, French, and Polish. Those are the production-ready, models, how we call them. And then as developed models, which are language that we, trained some experimental models. We have Russian, Farsi, Icelandic, and the two variants of Norwegian, Ukrainian, and Dutch. Okay, so that means that I'm having my browser is in English. Okay, so I'm gonna browse through a page in one of these languages. For this specific case, I'm going to start with French. So we have here French browser to the Mozilla's French page, and then you can see that the translation bar here, translation bar, got displayed here. So let's translate from French to English here. Just click translate. Models are downloaded, and that's it. It got translated. Everything locally. Models got downloaded. It was very fast. Probably, I hope you could see the steps of the translation being downloaded. But that was it. Downloaded, translated, and then models. And then the page got translated. In real time. So, and that's it. You see, everything was in French, and now it is in English. So let's do something else here. Let's select this option here, translate this tab automatically as you browse. So what this means that every page that I browse to, in this specific tab will be automatically just translated to English. So in this case, it's important. Do not forget, this is a French website, okay? Let's go to here, Firefox browsers. Everything got translated to English. Let's go, Firefox for computers. So everything's in French here, bang, translated to English. You didn't need to touch it. So this allows you to browse in any language and have the page automatically translated to you as you go, seamlessly, transparently. So that means, you can read the web in different languages privately, and without being required to keep translated on any manual interventions, okay? So let's choose a different language here, for example, Portuguese, which is my mother tongue. So you see here, let's turn off this because remember, it's trying to translate from French to English, okay? We switch it off, translate this tab automatically as you browse, and then you have here, just refresh it, so it could be displayed again and restart it. So this page is in Portuguese to English. Let's translate from Portuguese to Spanish, okay? And then we hit translate here, models downloaded, and bang, everything got translated to from Portuguese to Spanish. Even though I have an English browser, my locale is English. You can choose the languages that the source of the target languages. So same as before, translate this tab as you browse. You can go to any other, Spanish page, and then, oops, oh, this is in English. Okay, it got translated to Spanish, even though it was in English. It detected that the page was in English. So let's see, this is in Portuguese. So, bang, translated to Portuguese. So it translates, it translates to Spanish, sorry. It translates automatically as you browse, okay? So let's turn this off so I can show some other functionalities here. Let me see here what else we can show. Let's go to translations of forms. So this is a bit more complex functionality, but I think it's worthwhile showing here. So I'm browsing to booking.com. I want to book a hotel, okay? In Spanish, for example. So, I don't know, Mexico. I'm traveling to Mexico, and then I will choose, I switch here to Espanol, and okay, I have here, Spanish or a Spanish page, okay? And then my browser is in English. The page, the extension understands that the page is in Spanish. Displayed the option to translate here. And then let's search for a hotel in Mexico. Let's search for Los Cabos and Cabos and Lucas. And then let's translate this from Spanish to English. Okay, here, translated. Let's choose here something. And then let's go. Okay, got this hotel here in Spanish. And let's go to this hotel here. Booking opens a new tab. And then here's the page. Okay, everything's in Spanish. So let's select translate. Let's select enable translation of forms, like I said, and translate this. Okay, everything got translated to English. And then here I'm looking for my property, everything in English, and then I can, for example, let's pretend that I want to speak to the property. I can come here, I can go here, ask a question. Everything got translated to English, and this is translation of forms. So this allows the user to write in your own language and have that translated automatically to the website's language, and then fills the form. In this case, for example, I selected the form here, selected the option to send a question to the property, and then just write something like, "Hello, do you accept dogs in your property?" So what happened here? So I wrote in English, have that automatic translated to Spanish, right? Fill the form, and then we have this functionality that we call back translation here to the right. You can see what was translated, what was translated from English to Spanish, translated back to English. That allows the user to be confident. It's another signal to allow the user, to let the user see if what was translated was makes sense. Because this is machine translation, and neural machine translation is deep learning. It is entirely statistical. You can get errors, like on every deep learning machine learning based solution, you can have errors. So before sending a message or filling any forms, we translate back so you can see, okay, if both both content, both the left and right make sense. So this means, okay, we are confident that this is that this translation was good enough. So this is translation of forms. So allows you to communicate and speak in different languages, and from the page language, using your own language. So that's good for travelers, or in this case, for example, you are talking to someone or another entity in a different country or a language that you don't speak, allows you to communicate, with them. I have something else that I want to show here as well, which is called quality estimation. So quality estimation, it is it's a functionality that allows the user. Sorry, I was just texting someone. So allows you to see errors in the translation. Like I said, this is statistical. It's totally statistical, and then allows you to see if there are errors on the translation utterance. So in this case, for example, I'm gonna choose here to highlight potential errors in red, and then let's choose to translate here again from Spanish to English. So you see some errors here, some highlights here. For example, this red underline here. That means that the engine isn't confident enough that this translation is good. So I think now with ChatGPT and all this technology, this is becoming popular, that more common, and understandable that these deep learning models, they can hallucinate which they just create content, right? They create, content out of the data set. And this might happen on machine translation and specifically here on Bergamo. So some new words can be created. So in this case, for example, there is no features, right? In this specific, context here. So you can see some errors being highlighted here. And that is another, factor and signal to help you understand if, okay, this is good or not, it helps you to, make an assessment if you should, trust in this translation, specific translation, utterance or not. This is quality estimation. I can show another, this is in a different context here. So let's go to Amazon.com in English. And remember that I told you about these two icons here, right? One in the page and one in the browser, right? So the browser, context, one in the page context. So here, specific Amazon.com, where I'm browsing a page in English and I have an English browser, right? So it won't display the translation bar because the extension thinks, okay, the user can read that. But some, maybe you want to have that translated. So in my case, for example, I'm a native Brazilian Portuguese speaker, and then I want to translate, even though I have an English locale here. So when you click, like I show you here, if you click here, you're gonna have the translation bar, invoked or automatically displayed, even though if the page couldn't, if the translation could understand and figure what's the page language. So I can choose here in this case, for example, English to, let's choose a language that I don't speak at all, German. Okay, this is totally live demo. I never did that. Let's see what happens. Okay, English to German, select highlight errors. That's it. Got translated to English, from English to German. And you see some errors here, right? I don't know if this is right or not. If someone speaks, some German, native speaker is watching this, help me understand if this is got properly translation or not. But it helps you see the errors being highlighted here, right? So it helps you to, figure out what might be right or not. So this is a highlight of errors that I want to show here. And that is something else that I want to show that it's a feature that a lot of users requested us, which is free-form translation. So I have these two icons here, right? So this one, like I said, is to invoke the translation bar for situations when the page couldn't be the page language couldn't be detected, and you have this option here. So free-form translation, that's how we call it. So it's basically the same. We use the same engines, same models, everything local, but allows you to translate freely. Allows you to translate to just input text. So again, local and everything in your browser. You don't need to go to the other translation websites out there that collect your information and everything if you want to have something translated. So you just, like before, very straightforward. You choose something. I'm going to choose something from Portuguese, and then I'm going to translate to Italian, for example. Francesca, please correct me if this gets translated properly. And I say, so everything got downloaded into the models from Portuguese to Italian, got downloaded automatically. I was typing, and then everything got translated, seamlessly, so fast. Again, local, like I said. Let's choose from Portuguese to German. And then that's it. Here you go, everything local, and fast to French. So, and that's it. Let's switch. You can switch from French to Portuguese. Models downloaded from French to Portuguese, and that's it. So let's choose from French to Italian. Yeah, my Italian is good enough to figure that this makes sense. So yeah, that's free-form translation. So seamless, and then allows you to have a translation functionality in your browser again, respecting your privacy, and embedded. You don't need to go to your different websites, and then you just have it here in your browser with one click, and then you can just translate content. So with that, I want to show something else. That's something that our users requested, that I just implemented in the last version. So again, Amazon.com here, and then let's try to go to Amazon in German. So okay, let's try. I'll show you it in the chat. Okay, let's change the language here. It's Amazon. Okay, change language. All right. So I have Amazon in German, Deutsch, and I have no idea what's reading here. So I think German is a lovely language, but it's too complex for me to understand. So what I can do here to understand that, should have that translated. So you can highlight a specific part of the page, click with his right button, and select here, translate with Firefox Translations. And then here you go. You have the content pasted automatically, pasted in the freeform translation widget in the pop-up. Remember that I had French selected here before, right? So the extension detects, okay, this is German, and then gives you a hint that this is a different language. So you select here, translate German, and then here you go. You have German to Dutch, which also I don't understand well, but it seems to be similar to English. And then you go to English here, and then that's it. You have it translated. Or to Portuguese, for example. And here you go, everything translated. So let's get some more content here. And here you go, very, very, very well translated. So switch to English. And that's it. So, and again, this works for every language. So let's try Amazon and Netherlands. So let's get another part of the page here. This specific header here. So translate with Firefox Translations. It detected, okay, this is Dutch, and then you select Dutch, and then here you go, save up to 40% on home security. That's what it means. And then you can go to French, and here you go. So this is highlight translation. So it allows you to select content parts of the page, and without having the whole page translated. And that's useful for multilingual users, and then who just want to have some part translated because maybe you didn't understand well or something like that. So I want to show a little bit of how the settings, the configurations. So there is something that is here in the options button. You can choose to never offer translations at all. Like, I don't want this info bar to be displayed. I just want to browse freely, and then in language that I don't speak, and not having that invoked that at all. And then if I want to do that manually, I can just click the button here and select here Dutch to English, and then translate on my own if I want. In the case I want, for example, translate. If you can do the same options, but you can invoke manually the translation bar. So we can choose never to hit this site and never to hit Amazon at all, and then I'm fine with Amazon. But if, for example, I go to a different language, let's do something different here. Let's go to Mozilla in Spanish, and then okay, I have never offered translations selected. That's why this never display it. Oops, it's trying to translate from Dutch because automatic. Okay, and have it display it, and have the even though Amazon isn't they're not being displayed in Amazon, it is on Mozilla because you just selected to that specific to Amazon to not be translated. So and then you have never translate the language. So if you want to never have Spanish translated, for example, you just do this, and then you will never display the bar. But again, you can, summon it manually. So all these settings, they can be manipulated here. You go to translation preferences here in the options button, and then you come here to exceptions, and then you have all those options here. You can remove. That's how you maintain and change the settings that you selected before. So, and last but not least, I want to show our repo. Okay, where is this hosted? And then
just to add, there is a link to the repo also in the description of the video, so you should be able to get it there.
Yeah, thanks, Francesca, for reminding that. So yeah, we have that, and that's our GitHub repo, and where the whole code it is hosted, and where everything's there, so you can file issues and then follow the development from this repo here, and get in touch with us, and then basically everything's well described. And this is one of the repos that I want to show, and then you have here you have the links to the other repos that utilize, to the repo to the engine itself, and to the translations pipeline. I suggest you to go to Mozilla Hacks and search about Firefox translations. We have 2 good articles from my teammates. One from Abhishek, who created the engine, who ported the engine and worked with the consortium in order, to train, to build the engine to WebAssembly, to port the engine to WebAssembly and make this run in the browser, because the engine itself was written in C++. So we needed to port that to WebAssembly in order to be self-contained in a web extension like you saw here. Otherwise, you need to install separate applications, and then which wouldn't be practical. And then other posts that you can find on Mozilla Hacks about the training pipeline that Evgeny Pavlov, also our teammate, was responsible for developing the training pipeline. That's going to allow you to see how we to understand how we build the scripts to train new languages. So again, here in the Firefox translation repo, like I said, there's something else I want to show you, which is Android support. We support Android. The add-on supports Android. It's not being shipped by default on Android. On Firefox for Android itself. I mean, it's not installable yet. This is something that Mozilla is still working in order to allow all web extensions to be supported on Android. But you can install it manually. So it requires some steps, but you can, if you come here, Francesca, I'm gonna paste here, please, so you can also share in the chat window, please. And so those are the instructions to install on Android. So you can, following these, 5-6 steps here, you can have the extension installed on Android, Firefox for Android nightly and beta. So it's a bit cumbersome, but works. And then I want to show a video of that working on Android. I have this video here. So this is how it works on Android. So I have this icon here to the right. But same story, all the models, everything gets downloaded and translates, as you saw. We support only in-page translation at the moment, and free-form translation, like I showed you before, and then so this allows you to have in your phone a privacy, conscious translation engine, both for web pages and for free-form translation in this specific case, like you're seeing here. You don't need to use other applications that send your data to the cloud or other websites. You can just use this. I'm also going to send this to Francesca. Please, if you want to paste that in the group chat. And yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, covered all the functionalities. Again, privacy first translation technology that allows you to perform translations of pages and content locally in your browser without sending your data to the cloud. All the models of the engine, remain in your computer, in your browser. And then yeah, I hope you like it. I hope you use it. We are getting a lot of traction. We have millions of translations, happening so far. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna pass back to you, Francesca. Thanks for watching my presentation. And then I'm gonna pass back to you, Francesca.
Thank you very much, Andre. So we have quite a lot of questions. So I am going to go quickly through them, kind of group them together. So there are some questions about when will new languages being added, if about some specific languages. So yes, there is a question about when there will be more languages added, and then there is a specific question if there will be more languages added from Asian country. And then another one asks specifically about I think I'll ask that later. Just if you can go with this one, then I will go to
Sure. Sure. Yes. Okay. Of course. Yes. So yes, I mean, we are like I mentioned initially. So this was a research program that we were developing with the EU, with EU partners, and for that reason, we needed to focus initially on European language because there was a demand, a requirement from the European Union. And so we focused on EU languages, and then and also on building the tools and in order to allow us to scale to more languages. So yes, we will. We are at this moment, we are expanding our training infrastructure internally here at Mozilla, and to move to the next step from a research project to a full-blown production system. So we are scaling and expanding our training capabilities, our data acquisition pipelines, and with the focus of expanding to more languages. And then yes, Asian languages is on the plans, and then it will be supported in the near future. So, and again, not only European languages, Asian languages, and also more languages in general. So yes, it's something that we are working on.
Always on that line of questioning, there is a very specific question. Will it be possible to integrate languages processed in the No Language Left Behind project as they are offered in open source? Thinking of adding Occitan. I'm not familiar with the No Languages Left Behind project, but I don't know if you are familiar.
I am not, but I suggest, I mean, we are open to to everyone who has ideas. So reach out to us, reach out to me or to the team, and then let's talk about it. I'm not familiar, so but basically the way we are training, we are setting up our training pipelines, is that we are building in a way that we can ingest different data sets from different sources, from multiple sources. So if we have the data set available, we can utilize it in our training pipeline, and then will allow us to expand our research, with the goal of having better models for more languages. So yes, if that's a project that makes available data sets, and yes, we can reach out, like I said, reach out on Matrix, reach out to me, and then we can we can talk about it, how we can collaborate, of course. It's important to mention, so I didn't share the training pipeline repo, but I'm gonna send that to you so you can paste in the group chat as well. So this is our, I'm gonna send that to you, Francesca, sorry. So this is our training pipeline infrastructure repo. So by following that, by following the README and instructions here, we, if you are a researcher or independent engineer or independent vendor and who's willing to contribute and train models using your own data, you can, we make available the recipe to train these models, and then every model that gets produced from this repo, utilizing this repo, will be compatible with Firefox translations. And then we just get in touch with us. We can evaluate the quality, and then if the quality reaches a good standard blue score, and then you have used some methodologies in order to evaluate that, we're gonna make that available to users, and then we can ship along the extension. Yes. So yeah, that's something that I skip it, but it's important for the community to know that you can train models using data, your own data, and if you want to share, we are open to talk.
Great. Let me see other question. So can it be used to build a grammar and spell checker tool like language tool? If yes, are there any interest to explore this idea?
Sorry, could you please repeat that?
Someone asking if this can use to build a grammar and spell checker tool like language tool.
I don't have an answer out of the box for that. So probably the models can be utilized to help you assess, yes. But again, it's important to understand this is machine translation. So you can, like I told you, you have these models to detect the quality of the translation itself, and maybe you can use some tool to compare. But that wasn't a part of the project. Grammar, spell checking or grammar detection wasn't the entire part of the project, and then we didn't explore that venue. And I suspect there are other ways to solve this specific problem utilizing deep learning, but this wasn't a goal that we explored and researched during the grant.
Someone asked if do you plan to have suggestions, alternatives like on Google Translation?
You mean we're probably talking about suggestions of sentences? Maybe is that what it means? Like when you search something on Google Translate, and then it provides with variants of the translation, right? So that's something that we might consider. What I recommended is, like I said, please come to our repo and file these suggestions, and then we are open to listen to all of them. If you look pay attention to our issues, I try to fulfill our user request when that's feasible. So file repo, get in touch, file an issue to the repo, feature request, then I'm gonna try to assess the feasibility and implement that if it's possible. But yeah, at this moment, it is not something that we have in our pipeline.
Someone asked, what can we as a community do to support this project?
So yeah, there's a lot of things. First, use it. Use it. It's like by using it and being familiar with it and understanding how it works, and filing issues, providing the feedback that will help us understanding how this is performing in the real world. So first one is use it, and try to experiment with it, translate websites to your language, and then make your own assessment and let us know. So this is the first one. If you are an engineer, a front-end engineer, we have few issues open in the repo, and if you want to take any of them, and want to experiment and try to help fixing those, so any help it is welcome, and get in touch. I can help and guide anyone interested on getting hands dirty in terms of writing code for the extension. And then, like I said, the translations training pipeline, it is more heavyweight and more, deep learning, research oriented. But again, it's very concise. If you're a researcher on deep learning or, and then or machine translation itself. So contributing to a pipeline, understanding and reading, trying to reproduce locally with small data sets. There is a large amount of open source machine translation data available in the web. So I'm gonna share some more links here with you, Francesca. Please, if you can put in the group chat some of these data sources.
Where are you sharing them?
On Slack. I'm gonna paste to you on Slack, please, and then you can share it on the YouTube. So there's a large set of data available and on the open web, translation data. So if you can, pull the pipeline and try to experiment with some of these open source data sets and this corpora in order to test, building these models, that will help us a lot because, like I said, we are in this step of scaling our training capabilities and infrastructure to be able to train more languages. So if you have users and engineers and researchers experimenting with it, would be another set of eyes looking at it will help us to scale that faster and have more languages available faster. And yeah.
We have 5 minutes and a few more questions. So one is someone asked an estimation of the availability in standard Firefox version.
Sorry, excuse me. Could you please repeat that?
Essentially, when it will be available in the standard Firefox version.
As default. All I can say is that we are internally discussing and considering having the add-on integrated as default. If you follow on Bugzilla, you're gonna find some PRs where we are experimenting with having the extension integrated as default. So we are still in experimentation phase, and then how we integrate that and move from the extension word to the Gecko word, but it's being considered. So that's all I can say. I want to commit, publicly with with something that is totally out of my control. But yes, we are. It's on the on the plannings, on the books, and we are considering it at the moment. And like I said, if you go to Bugzilla, you'll find some ways to have that enabled on nightly. And then I suggest going to Bugzilla and looking at the Firefox to the translations component, and you're gonna see few bugs related to the specific task of porting the extension to the native Gecko word, and that's another way to contribute as well. If you are an engineer experienced with Gecko and in terms of Firefox, you can experiment with that as well. And sorry, yes, it's being studied and considered. I can't commit to anything, but yes, we are.
And someone asked if there are plans to make this available for Thunderbird.
So that's also something that we discussed and internally. Technically, yes, it is possible. It is feasible. It will work. We have technology. This technology that is all here is compatible. We can make it, work in Thunderbird. And yes, we also discussed it internally, and it might be a possibility in the future. I can't commit because that's something that's totally out of my control. But yes, technically yes, and then we talked internally about having that enabled on Thunderbird as well. It might happen at some point.
So we have one last question. We have 2 minutes. So someone, I think this is like a proposal to the possibility to attach a standard translation order when someone writes to one specific person on a tool, like to this, when you write to this person, I want it to be automatically translated in Spanish.
So yeah, that's
a very specific idea.
Yeah, that's very specific. Yeah, what I recommend is to use the free form translation, and But yeah, that's a functionality that we don't have planned, and then it might be possible to develop that if you're an engineer willing to hack and have a specific custom version, built for you. You can maybe detect the specific websites, the specific page, and detect if the specific URLs, some content in the page matches what you want to, the language to be translated, and then you can, hack the code and make that make a possibility. If you want to file this issue in the repo and explain it, I can't guarantee that's going to be implemented, but I can explain if you want to look at the code and then have that implemented to yourself. I can maybe take a look and provide some ideas on how you can do it for your specific use case. And then, yeah, I can maybe help if you want to implement that.
Great. I'm checking if there are a few more questions left over. I don't think. Nope. Let me see here. Now, there's just some comment that say that various people are happy that it will be it is worked on, that it will be in Firefox release in the future. So people think that would be awesome. And yes, I think there is a lot of excitement about Firefox translation. Also for me, for example, I'm an Italian and I live in Germany, so that's definitely useful for me because my German is not perfect. Let's put it that way. So yeah, if there are
it's very useful too.
Yes.
Yeah, when I need to travel, when I need to go to Europe, yeah, it is very useful. So yeah. I'm glad, our users like it, our community like it, and it's going to improve. We are still working on it.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much, and thank you very much, everyone, also for watching this call. I don't see any more questions, and we are at the time, so I think we can say goodbye to everyone, and yeah, we'll see you at the next call, which will be led by Costantina, not by me.
Thank you very much, Francesca.
Thank you very much.
Nice
Thank you
working
for coming.
with you on this. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Please feel free to reach
everyone.
out. Bye-bye.